In this exciting video, I'm going to be sharing with you an advanced way for you to sidechain in FL Studio using stock plugins only. This method gives you way more control over the frequencies you want to affect than the normal sidechain compression which we are already used to. So how does sidechaining work first of all to start with? In simple terms, we use a compressor to duck one sound when the other one is present. Let's say we have a kick and we have a bass. So when the kick drum hits, the bass is being compressed to create space and prevent frequency clashing. However, there is a challenge with this method. That is, when we compress the bass sounds, the entire frequency spectrum is being affected. Now, it might not be that obvious in this example as we're just using the kick and the bass, and this sounds both occupy the low end frequencies. But let's take another scenario when you have like a pluck sound and you have a pad sound. All right. And this pluck sound does occupies a specific set of frequencies. It has a certain portion is taken. And then you have a pad sound which occupies a wider range of frequencies. And if you want to sidechain that pluck sound to the pad, if you are using the normal sidechain, it affects the whole sound and takes the whole pad with it down, compresses everything. But in this case, we don't want it to affect compress the whole frequency spectrum. We just want when the pluck sound hits that frequency that the pluck is occupying, we just want that portion to duck down a bit for the pads. So how do we achieve this? Well, let's find out. So I'm going to be using this beat working on for to show you this example. Okay, there's a lot going on here, but I just want us to focus on these two instruments right here. So these two inserts are our focus right here. So if you have to look at these frequencies, you find out that it's just occupying mostly this portion. This is where the major sound is being generated from. The number one step to achieve this is, first of all, you're going to add a peak controller. All right, so I've already added that here. So let me just go ahead and do everything from scratch again. So you go ahead and you add a fruity peak controller. So I have the peak controller right here. That is the first step. Then the next step too is that you want to set this bass to 50%. So you can just right click, type in value, and then you can just type in 50. Okay, and then that is that. That is all you're going to do on our side chainer in this case. Then the next thing is to go to our side chaining. Okay, all right. So that is this sound right here. Okay, so now all we need to do right here is to, first of all, we are going to just use any of these bands, and you can see that this is what is affecting it right here. All I do is I right click on this and I go to link to controller. So what you need to do right here is to, first of all, you need to select the internal controllers. Go to the internal controller section. All right, and now we need to select which which controller in particular is going to affect this knob that we are going for. All right, so to do this, as you can see, our peak controller was inserted on insert 46. So there are two peak controllers because like I just installed a new one there, so the first one is still there, so it's going to be the second one obviously. And then we have the peak LFO, we have the peak, we have the LFO. All right, we just need to select the one in the middle for peak. Okay, and then once you do that, another thing you need to do, okay, is to change this. Go into this input section, right click on this box and then go over to inverted. So as you've done this, just click on accept, and then now you find out that once you play it, once you play the sound and once that other sound has an impact, you can notice that the frequencies are being ducked down from these instruments right here. But there's still a few edits that you can make. For example, first of all, you can affect the frequencies that have been affected right here in the EQ. All right, you can also affect the band of the frequencies. You can make it more precise, you can make it wider. Okay, but now if you want to affect how much is being ducked down, all right, you have to do that back in the peak controller. And now you notice that this bass, remember we set it at 50. Okay, you notice that if we increase it, you notice that it is going way more than it used to be. If we reduce, sorry, not this. If we reduce it, you'll notice that it's going higher. All right. But that is not actually what we want to affect right here. We want to affect the volume. So the volume is what affects this whole thing. Notice that if I reduce the volume, it can go higher. If I just leave it in the middle, it does nothing. But as I'm increasing it, it has way more impact in how the thing goes. And if you still want to increase it more, let's say this is not enough for you, okay? You can actually go to this tension right here and also increase it a bit more. And then you notice that it affects it way more than, than normal. So as you can see, this is just a step up from the normal sidechain compression that just takes everything down. So you can use this to, do some delicate and precise surgery in your mix to avoid, frequencies clash and everything. So instead of affecting the whole sound of everything, taking the whole sound down, you just affect that particular frequency you want to, duck down and make your mixes sound way better and making everything have its own space in your mix. Alright guys, so that'll be it for this video. If you did like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and also enable notifications so that you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.